What is up, my noob? Welcome back to another video. I have a question about, is this a symptom of autism or not? So bear with me. I started reading a book today, and it's called, actually I'm gonna pull it up. It's called A Lady's Guide to Etiquette and Murder, and it's super good. I'm almost done. I'm 3/4 of the way done, so I'll probably finish it tonight. But anyway, I want to talk about, I read it out loud. And in it, I kind of gave one of the characters, or the main character, a voice. I gave her, she's American, but she's from like the late 1800s kind of American, like right at the cusp of the turn to the 19th century, or to the 20th century. And so I kind of gave her like almost like a 20s kind of vibe. How I like to describe it, I don't know if you guys have listened to the Penumbra podcast at all, but it's basically Buddy Arenko, kind of. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job with her accent. Now, I'm wondering if this is like a symptom of echolalia, which echolalia, let me pull up the definition here real quick. Echolalia is a way to, it's like a repetition of, you hear somebody else say something, and then you kind of repeat that and in the same manner, maybe. I don't know. But I was wondering if anybody, like, I know that a lot of autistic people have a problem with speaking in general. But when you do speak, like when you read a book, do you read out loud? Because I have read out loud almost my entire life. I am able to read in my head as well. But for the most part, I do like to read my books out loud. I feel like I could comprehend it a little bit better when I read out loud. And I give voice to the characters. And then they become like almost like part of me. And those voices are usually drawn from other like places. I can't make up a voice. Like, that's not going to happen. So I do take the voices from other people when I do read out loud. And I'm just wondering if that was like, I don't know if anybody else does that. Like, does anybody else do that? Is anybody else like would prefer to read out loud? I know it hurts my voice when I do it, but it's just so much more enjoyable to me to read a book out loud. I feel like I'm giving a performance to no one. Like, the only person here is my dog, but I still like to read out loud. And I'm curious if anybody else does. I don't know if this is the thing, if this is a common thing. So I might bring this to Tumblr and just ask the question, like, do you read books out loud? I'm just gonna ask it. I'm just gonna ask the question, because I'm very curious to see if anybody agrees with me, that they would prefer to read out loud, or if it is like not enjoyable. I don't know, maybe it's just my storytelling nature. I do like to tell stories, and I like to give voice to characters, but I do not like to make up the characters. I'd like to have the words prepared for me already and not like make up the story on the spot. I'm not good up on the spot. I have to have like advanced knowledge of what's going to happen. And like, I don't know if this is making any sense, but hey, I can title this Echolalia. Echolalia is actually really interesting because I do tend to shift my voice around to match other people depending on what's happening. Like, I've noticed that my storytelling has become a lot better because my sister's a very good storyteller, and so I kind of mimic her, the way she tells stories. And because I find her stories funny, she now finds my stories funny because I'm basically telling my stories the same way she tells her stories. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I need to stop saying that. Things make sense. Like, I feel like I keep saying that because I don't want to sound stupid, but I rewatch these videos, and most of the time I'm like, oh, that was fine. Why was I freaking out? Like, everything's fine. I'm making sense to me. I don't know. I feel like I'm making sense all the time, but I keep saying, if that makes sense. Anyway, I need to stop doing that. But I do, especially when I watch like movies and TV shows and stuff like that, or when I listen to music. Oh, music, man. Like, I can get the tone like down. I can echo the tone in a song perfectly. It's like, I don't know. I think that's why I'm really good at like singing. And I'm not great at singing. Like I'm not like fantastic. I'm not like Wonderkin or anything like that. But I can match pitch really, really well. I can't read music, but if somebody sang a little note, I got it. It's in my head. I got it. I can mimic that back to you perfectly. Perfectly. No difference. Unless you're singing like an incredibly high note that I can't possibly reach. But most of the time I am able to get that down, and I'm able to get to like the cadence down too. Like, you know, like a British song, or like a British singer, sometimes their music has, their lyrics have like a little bit of a twist to it, like it's an accent and you can hear it in the song. And I do change my voice to match that accent, because why wouldn't I don't know. I don't know if other people do this. It feels like it's something that only autistic people do though. So I'm curious if this is like a symptom of my autism, in the fact that I have to match it perfectly. If I don't match it perfectly, then it doesn't count. I don't know the song yet. Like when I sing along to Hamilton, dude, I know every beat. Like I know every single moment, and I can match it perfectly. And also I stim a lot when I sing. So I'm constantly like this. I've noticed it in the car, and it's bad because like I'll be driving and I'll be like this, and I'm like, oh, I should have two hands. Or sometimes I'll be sitting at a stoplight and I'll just be like rocking out, and I just notice like people around me like staring at me, and I'm like, I don't care. But it's kind of embarrassing, but also not that embarrassing. I think it would be embarrassing to other people, but in my head I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I don't know who you are. I'm not embarrassed at all. In fact, I'm actually kind of proud of myself. I just got that line, like I got that line down. I've been trying to memorize Lil Nas X's Montero song, and I'm so close. I don't know all the words yet, so I have to keep looking at the words and memorizing them. Thankfully, I have kind of a photographic memory, so I'm able to like look at the words and kind of know like what's going on. I know most of the words now, but there's still some parts that are getting me. And I felt the same way when I was learning all the parts in Hamilton. But I mean, like, I'm so proud of my job at Hamilton. Like, you could turn on a song in Hamilton now and I would know pretty much every word. I think there's a couple songs that I haven't like learned fully, but man, most of the songs I know pretty damn well. And like, it's like to the beat. It's to the, the slight dip, the slight rise, it's just so slight, and I know it. I can do it. And it's like, you have to. I don't know. I love it. Anyway, also, I used to watch a lot of British YouTubers back when I first started watching YouTube, and oh my god, I spoke with a British accent for so long. Thankfully, I lived by myself. Nobody saw me. Nobody ever like talked to me or whatever. And then I would go to work, and everybody there like had a normal accent, and I would pick up on their accent before I like answered phone calls or whatever. But still, I was like, man, when I was at home, you bet your ass I was so British. But I don't know. I think it's curious. I'm curious to know if my wanting to talk, my read a book out loud, is something that only autistic people care about, or if this is something completely different and off the beaten path, and maybe I just like reading out loud. I don't know, but I don't know, I feel proud when I read something so perfectly that it makes me cry, it makes me smile, it makes me laugh. I'll be sitting there and I'm reading like the dialogue for this character, and she says something completely random and out of the blue, but I read it exactly as it's written, in the fact that I knew it was going to be something funny. And so I said it funnily, like, I don't know, it's like I'm bringing it to life. I don't know. Okay. I need to stop saying I don't know too. It's hard. I saw this TikTok the other day where it was this girl, she was giving a presentation, and her teacher said that she can't say okay in the entire D of her speech. So she gets up on the podium and she's like, okay. And then immediately she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me start over. Okay. And then she's like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God, are you me or what? Like, I do that all the time. Like, oh, if that was like a rule, like, I don't know if I would be able to do that. To just speak outright, like, oh my God, I say like a lot too. Who cares? That is the way we speak. And that's what she said in the TikTok too. She's like, sorry, that's just the way I speak. I always start off my conversations with that. I can't help it. Like. Anyway, I don't know if this was informative. It was mostly just asking questions because I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. It hasn't like gripped me to where I have to like search it out all the time. Because I don't think I have ADHD at all, so I don't like hyperfixate on things to the point where I have to like look it up. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing either, but from what I've gathered, there's a difference between the hyperfixations between ADHD and autism. I think they're slightly different. Like, we still hyperfixate on things, but in a different way. I feel like ADHD people have to know like everything about it, and they have to know at that exact moment. They have to look it up. Autistic people, we're like, okay, well, that's an interesting thought, but that's not in my schedule right now to look up, and then you just forget about it. Unless it's something that you're doing specifically at that moment, like, you're not gonna want to look it up. You're not gonna want to like learn about it. It has to be something that like falls into your lap, and then you go down like a rabbit hole. And it has to be easily accessible. Again, this might be generalizing, and I might be just talking about myself when it comes to my hyperfixations, but like, I got really into like trans YouTubers and stuff. But that's only because I watched one trans YouTuber, and then they were like, oh, I want to see what else they have. And then I found that they like did a video with this person. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll watch all of their videos. And then, I just kind of like went down the rabbit hole, but I had to like be shoved there. I have to, again, I don't know if this is a generalization. I don't know if the hyperfixations are different, but a lot of the times I do not relate to ADHD TikTok because I'm not ADHD. But there's a lot of overlap, but I don't think they're exactly the same, and I don't think we feel the same way about people. I know that a lot of people with autism also have ADHD, and so that could be kind of confusing, but I feel like autistic people don't hyperfixate like ADHD people do. They can move on because they have the schedule. They have a set schedule for the day, and nothing's going to really change that. I don't know. I guess I don't have a desire to like look things up unless it falls into my lap. I'm not going to like go search for it. I'm not going to type in specific questions into Google and like read an essay or whatever like about autism. But I will go on Tumblr and type in autism and just see what comes up. Like, what do you got for me? I need to do that, actually. I might do that today. Oh, right, because I was going to post my question. Dude, I need to know. I need to know if anybody else out there is like me when it comes to reading out loud. I have to read out loud. Well, I don't have to, but I would prefer to read out loud. I don't know if that's just a me thing, or if anybody else out there would prefer to read their books aloud. But I'd be curious to know. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to post that on Tumblr and see if I get an answer. And if I do, then I will let you know tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Anyway, adios.